If you are tired of waiting hours or even days for your epoxy to cure, what if I told you there is resin that cures in literally minutes and takes color like a dream? Hey friends and neighbors, it's Painted Raina, your friendly neighborhood witch of what? And today I'm going to talk to you about polyurethane casting resin. This here is Color Pro Polyurethane Casting Resin by Specialty Resin Chemical, SRC. This stuff is the bomb. It's really heavy and I have tendinitis, so I had to put it down. This is a 1-to-1 ratio like most epoxies that many of you use, except that it's not epoxy, it is polyurethane, and that's the magic. So there's a few things to know about polyurethane casting resin before we start this video. Some of its best uses, maybe its main use, is its incredibly fast cure time. Epoxy can take 12, 24, even 48 and 72 hours to cure sometimes. Who the hell has that time? I don't. This stuff cures in 10 minutes and it is hard to the touch. Now it's hot, so I don't actually demold it right at 10 minutes. I let it cool off a little bit, but it is still cured. It is ready to go. If I had some hot gloves on, I'd be set. I see some light bulbs going off. Those of you who also do craft fairs like me, but make resin things, what may have taken you 48 hours, now you can do 48 of in the same amount of time. Yeah, pretty cool, huh? Now, this is particularly appropriate for molds because you have such an incredibly fast working time, like 2-minute pot life, that you really can't mix any colors. So this is going to be best for when you're doing molds with one color. Now you could like pour one side and pour the other at different times, but they're not going to blend like your traditional epoxy will. But if that's okay with you, this is a perfect route to go. Color Pro specifically is one of the only casting resins I've been able to find that is clear and can take color. You can find casting resin almost anywhere, but it's white, or it's like kind of a yellowy white. Since Color Pro is clear, you can use any colorant that you would with any other epoxy. So for me, I love to use mica pigments like TOP or this Little Piggy. I love to use alcohol inks, glitter. You can even use paint. There's a lot of things that you can mix into epoxy to color it. And this stuff shines, like the colors are true and really pretty and vivid. Polyurethane resin is particularly good for fast projects, very detailed miniature molds, because you don't have nearly the amount of bubbles that you do with regular epoxy. It's also durable, very strong, and good for a lot of small parts. Now, where epoxy really shines, you know, our normal art resin, stone coat countertops, that sort of thing, glossy glass-like top coats, that's not really something you would want to do with the polyurethane resin. You want to stick with traditional epoxy for that. Traditional epoxy is also going to be absolute king when you want to blend some colors and get some cool effects. Or if you're doing like a petri dish thing with alcohol inks or trying to capture Larimar or some beautiful faux stone, epoxy is still going to be what you want for that. It's also superior for deep pours like river tables, anything that you may put out in the sun or direct sunlight, as epoxy has a much higher tolerance to sunlight than polyurethane casting resin does. Epoxy does have a higher heat tolerance and of course a longer working time. A lot of the things I do with resin I couldn't do with polyurethane casting resin because I like to blend a lot of colors. But if I want to pour a mold, I am definitely going for this anytime. I'm going to take one of my Pixis cups. Sorry, this is kind of hard to see, but it has got measurements on it. We've got different ounces here. It makes it really easy for mixing resin. So what I'm going to do is start with one of the sides, doesn't matter which, with this because it goes fast. I'm going to start with this side since this is the yellow oxidized side. Literally, I have had this over a year. I just kind of stopped pouring resin for a little bit and that's why it oxidized. So I forgot about it. I'm going to pour 4 ounces. Now this resin is much, much, much thinner than 2-part epoxy. We're going to color this today because we're going to make a blue lobster, right? I've got this cool little self-leveling resin pour table. It's really helpful when you have an uneven surface, which my primary desk is. You can adjust the little legs so it's nice and level. And to protect it, I'm going to cover it with a silicone mat. I have one of these nice circular ones from Fluid Art Company. And because we have to work really fast with polyurethane resin, I'm just going to have this ready for me right there. We've got our 4 ounces. Because this is not 2-part epoxy and you only have an extremely limited time to pour this, we're going to color only the first half. This is this Little Piggy in Taffy. This is a mica pigment. And if you're wondering what the heck, Raina, a blue lobster, they are a rarity, but they exist. They're like 1 in 10 million or something. And fishermen in Maine and New England find them to be very good luck when they catch them. And they've also always been my personal good luck charm since I'm half Mainer. And because it's me, we're going to add some glitter. This is kind of like a see-through teal. And then I'm going to add some of this pretty deep blue. I have a nice shimmery blue lobster. I'm going to mix it up. Again, it's not quite water thin, but it's much closer to water than you would be dealing with normal 2-part epoxy resin. Do I like the color? Yes, I do. So when you're working with this, you have to be 100% ready to go because you've got about 2 minutes to work. So now I'm going to take the other part. I'm going to check the coloring added and the glitter added like almost no volume. So I'm just going to pour right up to the 8. And we stir for 30 seconds and we pour. Make sure you are scraping the backs and sides as you mix. That part is similar to 2-part epoxy, but you only have to do it for 30 seconds, and because it's so much thinner, it doesn't make your hand cramp, which is just outstanding, right? I think it is. Okay, 30 seconds, and it's go time. Cool, everything's filled. And I didn't measure, so I've got this extra mold here that I could pour my excess in since I mixed 8 ounces when I definitely did not need that much. This stuff gets hot like really, really quickly. And as soon as it starts getting warm in your hand, you know you're out of time. So just be at peace if you haven't poured it. Well, work faster next time. It's been 10 minutes and this is set, which is exciting. We can demold it. However, it's really, really hot and it's still a little bit flexible. See, it's not going to be a problem, but I could actually burn myself. It's so hot. Completely set. So I'm just going to set it aside to cool down, this one too, and we're going to check out some other colors. Here I have this neat like crystal mold. We're going to use Pinata, Passion Purple alcohol ink, and then I'm going to dress it up a little bit with this Win Modern Art really pretty like teal purple kind of glitter. It's called Solar Purple, and a little bit of Unicorn Art crushed crystal magical mica. The also fun thing about purple is if you have oxidized resin like I do, the purple will actually help to counter the yellow. So again, we're going to start with just 4 ounces. Going to add our ink. There's some purple. That was probably like 4 or 5 drops. And we're going to add our glitter. A little bit of my crushed crystal. Let me peel the last round off of this. This is a mixing stick, also from Fluid Art Company. They are reusable and awesome for resin because the stuff peels right off. Gonna mix up that color. That's pretty, we like this. At least I do. And now I'm gonna add in part B. And remember, stir for 30 seconds, scrape the backs and sides, and then pour immediately. You've only got 2 minutes. Don't even take the time to screw your cap on. You can do that later. 30 seconds, it's showtime. I'm going to start with a more detailed mold because I need to pour slightly slower. The nice thing about this resin as well, because it is so much thinner, is you get a lot less bubbles. I'm still pouring slowly though, right? It's getting real hot in my hands, so now we'll pour through this. And then I've got this other tray. I do this sometimes. I just pour leftovers in one of these octagons that I've got, and I always tend to like really enjoy how it turns out. That's got to have 10 minutes. And I think I'll just give these a little bit more time because they're still pretty warm. So we'll do another 10-minute time lapse and come back. Oh my God. I cannot believe I forgot to hit record when I demolded you, lobster. This is so frustrating. You would think after 100 videos, I would know how to hit record, but I don't. You know what? I'm gonna hire you for my new cameraman. Won't that be amazing? I'm gonna finish this off with a base that is Sequins, which is this little pigment. It's an interference color, so I don't know if the camera's gonna pick up like this purple. It shows up better over black, but I'm gonna mix it with white. Well, I shouldn't say that white. I'm gonna mix it with 1 drop of purple alcohol ink to counteract the yellow, and that will be that. I feel like 4 ounces is gonna do it, so we're just gonna do 2 ounces. And this time ink, I'm using 1 drop of Alcohol Pearl and Villianous. This is a Ranger ink, just 1. Oops, a little overshot. So one of my hairs is sticking to that. That's gross. Oh well. All right, we've got a nice purple, but it's not the white I want. So I'm going to add some more pigment. And this time it's going to be this Little Piggy in Simplicity, which is white. So we've got kind of a nice purplish, whitish pearl color. 2 ounces of Part B. Don't take the time to put the cap back on. And stir for 30 seconds. Being dangerous. When it starts to get warm, you know it's about ready to pour. If you've enjoyed and learned something from today's video, please take a moment to like and subscribe. Next video, I'll be talking about the polyurethane casting resin from SRC that is black. Yes, black. And it's got a lot of uses. Check the links in the description box for any of the things I've talked about today, or if you want to catch up with me on social media, it's there. Like my hand above this tray that I've just poured, like I can feel the heat coming off it because it's an exothermic reaction. This is where having a level surface really helps. We'll demold this one first. This is my unicorn rainbow vomit tray. That is just lots of resin pores all in one. So actually, it's kind of pretty. I like it. I would. Looky there. Got some bubbles again. Interesting. I think that I'd be served by spraying my molds with alcohol before pouring to avoid those. Now the beautiful thing about resin is you can paint it. You can add things like foils and stuff to cover up any sort of issues like that. And this is still hot because it's a thick mold, but it's been about 30 minutes, so we're just going to go ahead and demold it anyway. There we are. Kind of an amethyst, but not exactly. A glittery amethyst. But all of this in the space of 45 minutes with polyurethane casting resin. So I'm sure now you can see how this is a total game changer in your resin room, and that this is a great way to go for people who like pouring molds. Enjoy. See you next time.